it's Erica with Crafteinated, and today I'm going to show you how I do my 3x3 cards and matching envelopes and how I store them. First, I just like to talk a little bit about some other things. So I'll put the time that the tutorial actually starts in the description, so if you don't want to hear me talk, you can just skip ahead. So I haven't been on as much lately. It's been really difficult for me to take the time and even have the, the motivation to do things these days. I do work in healthcare. I'm an RN. I work at a doctor's office, so I'm not like on the front lines or anything like that. I used to work in the ER, and I can see how terrible things are getting for people who work in the ER and ICU and all of those like critical care nurses and doctors, nurse practitioners, assistants, etc. And it's just been really hard for me to come home and like create stuff. I don't know. And a lot of the times when I'm doing crafts and I'm doing stuff, it's with my mom or my cousin, and I obviously haven't been able to see them. And I have all of these shows that I had scheduled throughout the summer into the fall and winter, and a lot of them are being pushed back, and it's just kind of depressing. I know that it's not as bad as what's happening with some people who are like losing family members or, fear of their own illness and sickness, but it still sucks. And it's just kind of, hard for me to come home, sit down, and really just create. I have all these things in this room. I've showed you guys my room before, and it's just, I feel so bad that it's all just sitting here. But that's pretty much all of that. So I'm gonna get into making my 3x3 card. So the items I'm going to use are going to be my scissors, my tape adhesive, my bone folder. I use this tool from Cricut to remove the backer of my adhesive, my corner chomper, my cutter, my punch board, and my scoreboard. So like some of these things you don't necessarily need to make this. Like the envelope punch board and the scoreboard make things easier, but if you don't have these, you can fold and score, and there's templates online to make different size envelopes if you don't have the punch board. So those are just a couple of things that I have that are extra. And I would say that, you can use any type of adhesive you want, and the corner rounder would not necessarily be a needed object, but again, I think it makes it easier. So I'm going to show you the pack that I'm going to use. So this is the Easy Peasy pack by DCWV, and it has these, and I should put this in here, it has these really cute tiny tags that make perfect fronts for these cards. And I already pulled out what I want to use. I'm going to use this Oh Hello tag with this paper, and then I'm going to use this as my base. So I already had some bases cut out, so I didn't cut those out, but they are 3x6, okay, 3x6. And if you have a full 12x12 sheet, so I'm just going to show you with this, just like kind of how it would work. So if you have a whole 12x12 sheet, which this one's a little bit over because it has the band strip up here, if you cut it at 6 all the way across, right? And you can cut it at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you have a 3. And that's going to essentially make you 8 card bases. So I pre-make my bases. I make them in, like, I'll take one sheet of 12x12 paper and make 8 bases. And then I just use those to make my mini cards. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the tag, and I'll cut this. What do I do with my cutter? There it is. And I am going to try to be on, a little bit more. It's just that, they were telling us that we were going to be deployed to other locations. And it's just really there's a lot of, anxiety over all of this. And I can understand everyone's anxiety and everyone feeling kind of crazy about things. but I'm going to try to do more when I have time. So there's my little tag, and it looks really cute. And then, so that's going to go there, but I'm going to put a piece of this underneath. So for this is going to be the back of this as well as the envelope. So if you look at your punch board, for a 3x3 card, you're going to do 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to do that first. I have it marked on here because this one doesn't really show you where 5 1/4 is, and I was having a hard time with it. So I marked it on my thing. And then 5 1/4. And that's your envelope. And then I don't like to use this piece to make the back of this, because this, if you cut it again at 5 1/4, is another envelope. So I'm not going to cut this right now. I'm going to put it to the side. And then this piece that I use for the back of this, I cut at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then you have enough for another one. So I'll put that with my other envelope back. And then this will go right here like this. That'll go on top like that. Oh, I forgot. I also use foam squares. I like to make these 3-dimensional, and so I'll have to grab my foam squares. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so while I was getting my foam squares, I also found some enamel dots. And I do like to add some enamel dots sometimes to stuff because I think it gives it just a little bit more of, dimension. It makes it look a little cuter. So I'll probably use the orange and the pink ones on this. And I like to use my art glitter glue when I put these on, just to make sure that they stay on. Some of the adhesive, sometimes they're really good adhesive. I got these were pretty cheap, so the adhesive isn't the best on there. So I use the art glitter glue. So I'm going to put that stuff to the side though for just a minute and grab my scoreboard and score this down at 3. And when I'm making them in batch, big batch of these, sometimes I will cut them at just 6 and score them all at 3 and then cut them at 3. So then the scoring's done all at once, but I didn't do that this time. So just at 3 inches. And then I am going to use my bone folder to fold it down. I still like to make sure that it's lined up nice and straight before I do the bone folder. And I want to make this I want to make it this type of opening. But you can do whatever you want. And I'm going to round the corners on the tag. I'm going to do the 1/4 inch round. There we go. And so I'm going to glue this onto here first. And then I remove the back. Don't want to come off. And I'll just glue that down. So you just want to make sure you have like a 1/4 inch border around your card and where you're putting your pattern paper. And then I'm going to take my cute little tag and I'm going to put foam squares down on it. And I have I always overuse foam squares. I know I do. I can't help it. I like to make sure that it's on there really well. And so I put a ton down. I know most people don't. I really probably should just use the foam tape because of how much of the squares I use in one go. But, and I do have some of the tape. I just don't have this height. They're much higher and I don't want it to be too bulky because it is just a tiny card. And I don't really there's no really method to my madness. I just kind of put them on wherever I think is good. And then I do a test before I take the backing off. So what I do is I put it on and make sure that there's no big, so there's a hole kind of right there. I don't know why, but I can, probably because it's on the edge and it really should just have another one there. All right, so that feels good. And then I use my same tool to remove the backs. And you don't have to use as many foam squares as me. I don't know. I've always used a ton of them when I use them to make 3D things. And I probably always will. Can't change my mind. All right, so now that you have all of your foam squares showing, you just put this on and center it. Or if you want it up in the corner or down in the corner, I'm gonna put mine right in the center though. Oh, hello. And then I'm going to use some of these. I'm just gonna put some of my glitter glue. It's probably stopped up. It gets like that sometimes. I always put it kind of on the corner. That's way too much. That's okay. I put it on the corner, and then I actually use this tool for that too. I will get my dot that I want, so I'm gonna use an orange one. I just dip this in, and I kind of smear it on the back, and then I use it to kind of help place where I want it. So I think I'm gonna put you down in this corner, and then I'm gonna put a pink one with it. And then I'll probably get another pink one to put on the other side. They are not coming off. They probably are sticky enough then if I'm having such a hard time getting them off the thing. And then I think I'm gonna put a pink one in the other corner up in the top. But I don't think I'm going to put any of the orange ones with it. I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. Maybe over the top of the flower, we'll do that. Put it right in the middle of the flower. All right, so that's all I'm gonna do with the dots. And then we'll make the envelope. So for the envelope, you're just gonna follow the instructions on the punch board. So it's a 3x3 card, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and you score the 2 5/8. So you find your 2 5/8, you score, and you punch. And then you line your little doohickey, whatever it's called, right up with your other score line, and then you score and you punch. Score, punch. And then that's your envelope base. Simple as that. Then I go through. You can use the corner rounder on the punch board. I don't particularly like that one, so I'm gonna use the 1/4 inch one. and then you'll go through and you'll score your lines. And I like using double-sided paper for this just because I like the inside of the envelope to have like a liner, and I think it makes it look really cute. I'm just trying to find which way looks best. And I think that way does. So we'll go ahead and tape it down like that. Oops. And I always just do one side first. And that looks like I can put two down right next to each other. I do use a little bit extra glue on these just because I don't want the flaps to fall off or anything before the person gets to give it away. And these aren't the best for mailing. People ask me that when I'm at the shows sometimes, like, can we mail this? Absolutely, you can, but squared cards cost more to mail. So I always tell people I recommend putting them in like a, like, you know, like the thank you card size that you get for like weddings and things. I tell them to try to find one that's at least 3 inches tall, or 3 1/4 probably would be better. So that way they can slip it into that, or just give these away in person as like, you know, little thank you notes, or gift, like with a gift, like a gift card, I guess, not that kind of gift card, but you know what I mean. Like with the bag, with the present. And so that's what I tell people to do when they ask me that. But I do think they just make the most adorable little tiny cards. And then this just fits right in there, just like that. So when I package them, I use these clear bags. They're 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 or B33, and they're from clearbags.com. And sometimes they don't fit, so this one will probably fit this way the best, instead of putting it the way it actually is. Sometimes it's just a little bit off, so it probably wouldn't fit the other way. Then you just slip it in like that, remove this, and there's your card. And so I kind of keep them in here first, like after I make them. I made a bunch of these the other day, and I keep them in here until I'm ready to count them and put them in my bin. And like these ones, I could not find a piece of paper that I liked for the envelope, so I'm still searching, because these ones I made from scrap. So when you make them from scrap, sometimes you don't have, like this one, it wasn't a matching color, but like it looks really cute, I think. And like same with this one. So like I ran out of the matching paper, so I just kind of improvised and went through my paper and saw what looked really cute. Like this one, it's not the same paper, but it's floral, it's pink, it's fun, it's like that pink and black. So I thought that looked cute. And like same with this birdie. The birdie one is like this like mustardy yellow, dark blue, light blue, and that was kind of like the color of these flowers. So I just kind of look through stuff and see what I can find to match. And then once I count these, because what I do is I go through, I count, and I keep a count of all my inventory. I put them in one of these bigger bins. Oops, this way. One of these bigger bins, and then I store them. So this is like my entire stash right now of my 3 by 3 cards. And these are some of my favorite things to make. I love making these. Some of these are from like my first round. Like this one I think was my first round of making. This one's embossed, and it has like a little button stamp up here. So I do them different ways. There's other ways you can do them. Like this one's a stamp. This is a Stampin' Up stamp. And then it has like a sticker down here. And it's just a plain black envelope. So I do different things sometimes when I make them. But I just love making them because they can be so unique and so different, and you just kind of do them all however you feel like doing them. So that is how I make my 3x3 cards, and I hope that this inspires you to do some of your own crafting. Maybe it'll help inspire me since I am having a hard time right now with that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye.